Today I'm showing you how to make chapati. Nice soft chapati. So for this recipe, you're gonna need 2 tablespoons of oil, 1.5 cups of warm water, 3 cups of all-purpose flour, and 1 cup extra for kneading, and then 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of sugar. So I already have my teaspoon of salt and sugar in the bowl, so I'm just gonna add in the water. And then add in the oil. And you can use vegetable oil or olive oil, really any oil of your choice. So we're gonna mix everything in until the salt and the sugar dissolve. Last thing we do is add in our flour. And so remember, it's 3 cups of flour, but then you'll need a cup extra for when you start kneading, because the dough is sticky. So once you've mixed everything together, you're gonna start kneading by hand. And as you knead, you just add in the flour that you need. Add in the flour that you need. Okay, anyways, as you knead, if you feel the dough's getting too sticky, you just add in some more flour a little bit at a time. You don't want to do the full cup, just a little bit at a time, and keep kneading. You want to knead for about 10 minutes. I usually start out by kneading in the bowl, and then I turn it over onto my table, countertop surface, whatever you have, and then I continue to knead until about 10 minutes has passed. And so you just want your dough to be smooth and elastic, and that's when you know that it's ready. For me, usually safe bet is 10 minutes. Once you feel your dough is ready, you're going to take your bowl, add in some oil, spread the oil around in the bowl, and then place your dough back inside. And you just want to cover it with a dish rag and then let it rest for at least an hour. Allowing it to rest for that long helps with making sure that your chapati will be nice and soft. Once your dough is rested and you are ready for the next step. Now the next step is just rolling it out into a big flat surface. So it can be like a round shape, a square shape, whatever shape you want it to be. It just needs to be as flat as possible. And so make sure you flour your surface so that you can roll it out. And now this is technically, I consider this a shortcut method, because the other method of making chapati is taking small pieces of dough, rolling them out, and then starting to put the oil in for each single piece of dough, and then rolling it back up into like a cinnamon roll looking thing. But this takes all those steps out, and you kind of do it once for all your chapati. So I feel like this doesn't get you the really nice layers, if that's what you're going for. If you really want layers, I'll make another video on how to make chapati. I call it the traditional way, because that's how my mom taught me, is the traditional way of how to make chapati. When you do it that way, you get really nice layers. Yeah, you get really nice layers. But this method is the quick method, to get your chapati, because it still tastes like chapati. It's just, I feel like your layers aren't as well defined as when you do it the traditional way. But anyway, this is a quick, simple way to make chapati. So we've already rolled out our dough into a big circle, semicircle, and you just put a generous amount of oil, your oil of choice, over it, and make sure you're spreading it, make sure you get it everywhere. And then all I've done is cut strips, so just about, I think I'd measure maybe like an inch across, and you just cut down lengthwise. And when you get to the middle, you cut them down a little bit skinnier, because the middle is more it's longer than the rest to the sides. And so when I do it like this, I usually can get about 12 medium-sized chapati. So not the really large ones, but medium size. Once we've done this, we've cut our strips. All I'm doing is rolling up the chapati, I guess the strips. I'm rolling them up, forming kind of like what looks like a cinnamon roll. And here, this strip was way too big, so I cut in half. Okay, I let this rest as well. So I let them rest for maybe, if I'm in a hurry, 10 minutes. If I have time, 30 to an hour. Just because I really like layers. I feel like when you let the dough rest, the layers are more defined. Once you have them though, you can start rolling them right away if you wish. And so now we're rolling out into our, what is going to be our final chapati. So try to make it as round as possible, but it doesn't have to be perfect. Personally, for me, I cut my chapati into quarters, so I usually don't worry too much about the size, as long as it's round-ish. It's close. Once you have a couple rolled out, you can begin cooking. I like to use a cast iron, a flat pan. It takes a little bit to get warm, so heat up your pan first. And I usually set it on medium heat to medium low. And then we're gonna get cooking. So place your first chapati down on your pan. You let it cook on one side, usually 2 to 3 minutes, and then you turn it over and cook it on the other side. And usually that doesn't take as long to cook on the other side. So maybe 1 minute, 1 to 2 minutes. But you're just checking to make sure that it's nice and brown and it's got a good color on there. And then you just keep doing that. Now what I'm showing you here is a stacking method where I cook more than one chapati at a time, but you can just cook one chapati at a time and you can go that way, but the stacking method does go a bit faster. So I will do a more detailed video on exactly how to cook chapati with the stacking method, because it does go faster. Once you've cooked all your chapati, cover them in foil to retain the heat, or put them in a hot pot, that also works. And we eat chapati with cabbage and dengu. It's actually a really good combination. So you should try it sometime. But yeah, that's how you make chapati. Nice, soft, semi-layered chapati. Thank you. Bye.